That, of course, the NFL. Big news this weekend because the draft is underway in Chicago, and they're going to continue the second and third round tonight in primetime on ESPN. Nobody does it better. Artie Burns, cornerback out of Miami, 6 foot, 193 pounds, 4.4 40-yard dash. An incredible freshman. As a true freshman, he played 11 games for Miami. Started the last couple of years. Steelers can definitely use him. Now, the experts are saying that in the second and third rounds, that as I said earlier will be tonight, looks as though they're going to go for a defensive lineman in the second round. Could be a quarterback and wide receiver in the third round. The Bucks are at PNC Park taking on the Cincinnati Reds. You can hear it 93.7 The Fan. All their games home and away, and it's Juan Nicasio on the hill for the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are 3.5 games out of first place behind the division-leading Chicago Cubs. The Bambino is taking this on my brand spanking new Galaxy Samsung S7 is the magical number. Well, we'd like to get one as far as the magical number with your Pittsburgh Penguins. TJ Oshie, who came over from the Blues, hat trick, and of course, overtime wraparound goal past Matt Murray, who had 43 stops on the night, not that one. They win Game 1, second-round postseason series, of course, at the Verizon Center. Game 2 tomorrow night, back in the nation's capital at the Verizon Center, 8 o'clock primetime, NBC. All right, PJ Kamenchik, my mentor for many years, our news director and a real hockey puck and lover of the game, is going to talk a little hockey, as is the morning show producer of 93.7 The Fan, my good friend Joe Kopp. Before we take anything about hockey, the Broncos need everything.
No. Not anymore.
They had the very last pick in the first round. How'd they do?
They did tremendous. They got the guy I wanted, Paxton Lynch. That's the quarterback of the future. From Peyton to Paxton. Here we go. Repeat.
All right, sounds good. PJ, let's talk a little hockey.
Talk puck.
It's only one. We also love Pitt, by the way. Just do it, Nike. Okay, talk to me about your impressions of the Ovechkin Crosby matchup.
No,
Game
listen,
1.
it's a 7-game series. So I know there's a lot of people that are getting all fired up and they're worried about the Penguins losing. You got to win 4 games. It's going to be a 6-game series, at least, if not a 7-game series. I thought the Penguins played really well. That's a good hockey team, the Washington Capitals. They weren't the President Cup trophy winner for no reason.
Right.
If you look at the downside, though, they stopped Washington on 4 power plays. You got to take advantage of that. You got to have you got to get a win out of that game. So they've got their work cut out for them because you're not going to stop Alexander Ovechkin in the entire series.
He was the first overall player taken in 2004, Crosby in 2005. I still think this is much more about the younger guys. Matt Murray, no matter what if it is, I talked to Jean-Sébastien Aubin yesterday at Shadow Lakes. Whether it's beginner luck or maybe things to see as far as his bright future, he's just been lights out. And what is it, Holtby, the Vezina Trophy finalist?
Yes.
All right, he had 43 stops on the night as well, too. So I think the young man is playing pretty good hockey.
I thought Murray's been playing great. Last night he showed a little bit of cracks. Then the Capitals showed ways that they can actually get to him and beat him. But this key tomorrow night, big game. They come home 0-2. I don't think they win this series.
Yeah, mirror images, both those goaltenders. I mean, if you looked at Holtby and some of the stops that he was making, it was as if Matt Murray, the mentor. I mean, so square both goalies to the shooters. Can both get down, smother lots of rebounds. They don't give many rebounds up. Murray gave a few up last night. TJ Oshie, one of the things he talked about is that they knew that they could maybe go side to side behind the net on him. And they knew he'd be aggressive covering that left side, and he couldn't get back to his right side. And he was just a millisecond off to stop that puck from Oshie on the hat.
I think it was great for the NHL, though. This is going to be a great second-round series. And I'll tell you, I don't know if you watched after the game was over, but they had this retrospective, this great rivalry in the early days of both of these franchises and how they struggled, and then the whole Mario Lemieux era. Man, I had chills watching that. And now having the opportunity to see these two teams in the postseason again, first time since 2009. Of course, the Penguins won the Cup that year. That series in 2009 was a slugfest, went to Game 7. This is great hockey. This is great drama, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, the Penguins, they're going to do some things a little bit differently, obviously. They can't go east to west with that puck.
What does that mean?
Neutral zone. They can't be in the neutral zone going left to right. They got to dump the puck. If it's not there, live for another day.
Right.
Evgeny Malkin, he's a great hockey player. Sometimes you got to give that puck up, dump it, and go get it.
He got a goal, by the way, last night, as did Ben Lovejoy and Bonino. Is that how you say it?
Yeah,
Nick Bonino. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, you got to play playoff hockey. They got it shored up on the left side with Oli Mata. Didn't have his best game of the season. Definitely didn't have his best game of the playoffs. And so they have a decision to make. I mean, do you sit him? Do you bring Schultz in? Do you entertain the thoughts of Derek Pouliot? I don't know. I mean, there's your options right there.
They got 4 strong lines. I don't know if I mess with that chemistry now. What do you think?
Well, I think offensively you keep it the way it is.
Okay.
I think with the number 1 line with Sidney Crosby and Hornquist and Connor Sherry, I truly believe that Sidney Crosby plays better because of Connor Sherry, because he's such a workhorse, Connor Sherry, and Crosby's not one to want to be showed up. And so what does he do? He gets his game in gear, I think, a little bit more.
The one thing I was worried about last night's game is you saw a little bit of the Capitals hit, and towards the game got later, you saw the Penguins start to get a little agitated, much like the Flyers used to do to them. And the Capitals think, we can get to them, we can get under their skin. This is when they fall apart.
Yeah, I mean that's a President's Cup trophy winning team. You can't turn the puck over at the blue line there, because forget about it. They're coming back 3 strong and it's fast, and so it's immediately an on-man break. So you got to dump the puck. It's going to be playoff hockey, and you got to go get it. Every line has offense on it. Every line has speed. Playoff hockey. Get to the corners.
Two best teams, though. Winner of this, I think, wins the cup.
Yeah, it's a shame that the NHL matched up this way. Yeah. I mean, it would have been much nicer if they would have met in the finals of the Eastern Conference. Just don't really like the format.
Before you stay right there, but before we go, just your early observations of Artie Burns. I know they wanted the other guy, Jackson from Houston, but the Bengals grabbed him, so they took him. You happy with that?
It's definitely, they need a corner. He's got all kinds of speed. The problem with him is he's going to be a little bit of a project, and it's a team that I think needs a corner right away. So it's kind of a risk to take a project when you need somebody to get in there and play right away. I also thought they could have actually traded down and got more picks and still been able to get this guy. So that was, I think, the disappointing part. And the other thing I was a little surprised is with Mackenzie Alexander out there, they didn't take a chance on him instead of this kid.
I think they wanted him. I think the timing of their pick, I mean, it was immediate after the Bengals pick, and the Steelers came out with him. I think that's who they wanted. Earlier in the day, it was reported that that's the guy that they were looking at was Burns, and I think that's the guy they wanted. I think they believe he played in a tough conference in terms of the passing conference in the ACC, and he's somebody that needs to be developed, and they believe in their coaching staff to develop him as a player.
All right, by the way, Jeff Hathorn is working the anchor desk, News Radio 1020 KDK and 93.7 The Fan. Lots of stuff happening. Plus, one more thing about hockey. Connor Shearer, who took a knee last night, his suspension has been handed out for a little over $2,000, I think, but no
suspension,
fine.
Just a fine.
Yeah, right. So, was it Wilson who was the guy that needed him? What was the guy's name?
Yes, Wilson.
Okay, so what's that mean? Pretty much nothing. It's over, done, under the rug, move on.
You're going to move on.
And it's playoff hockey.
They're not going to suspend him because nobody was actually hurt. So that's the thing. He was able to return. So he won't be suspended. This will be just a little slap on the wrist. They had to do something.
Okay, last thing. Early observations of the Pirates so far? Anything?
I like the squad. I truly like the squad. I think obviously their pitching has to come around. They're going to sit on their minor league players. Tyone and Glasnow in the minor leagues. They're not going to bring them up until they possibly can, which is sometime in June. I like the way they hit. They got Gung coming back. I think they're going to be okay.
Although, how about Neil Walker? He's off to a bit of a fast start. Long ball.
That
Walker.
trade actually has worked out for both teams.
Yes.
Yeah,
Pirates
Nice
haven't
has
lost
been
to
great.
start. Nice is made, and Walker's hitting for them.
And also, today the whole coaching staff got renewed.
Yes.
So we thought we'd throw that in. I can't thank you enough. Both of these gentlemen always
It's
take
been a long time, Robbie.
I see what I've been missing for so long. This is how I learned everything about sports, these two guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great rest of the day. Going to enjoy some Sheets coffee here, go back to work, and get ready for Rob Pratte Saturday at 5 a.m. on News Radio 1020 KDKA.